name's Cole. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick, and this is my bagged wagon. Driving really made me get into cars. Like getting my license, and then I drove some automatic, my brother's Passat, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, this is cool. And then I drove this, and I learned how to drive stick. My dad used to race cars, so that really helped too. Okay. So he was a really good teacher in explaining how to drive stick and how to not crash the car and break it and stuff. Yeah, and then I watched rally racing and Formula One and all that. Started watching old Japanese stuff and Initial D and all that, and I'm like, whoa, this is really, really, really cool. This was during COVID, so there was absolutely nobody on the road. So I found some really nice curvy back road. And I just took this thing through there at full tilt after 3 months of learning how to drive stick, trying to heel toe and rev match it. Top of third gear, slam on the brakes, rev it out, dump it into second, and just dump the clutch, and all you feel is the car just completely jolt around. I'm like, yeah, super cool. And then I started going to car shows, and I went to Stance East that year. Saw a Volkswagen with cool wheels on it and stuff. I'm like, whoa, that's nice. I should do racing. I was like, I should autocross this car. That'd be fun. So I started doing stuff for that. I got coilovers, and then I lowered the coilovers. Then I lowered the coilovers more. Why race when I could just be really, really low? Well, I'd consider it really low. The subframe would scrape sometimes, and I broke oil pans and stuff. So yeah, and then I started doing Audi TT stuff, the full front suspension from an R32, and put it in here. I was like, wow, it feels really nice. So I raised the car up a tiny bit so that it wouldn't absolutely destroy stuff. Made I got camber plates and fixed the alignment and stuff. And then I actually did kind of autocross it a little bit. And it was really nice. It handled really, really well for at least what it was with really cheap coilovers and stuff. And then I got a good deal on bags, and I bought bags. And I regretted buying bags, and now I don't regret buying bags. My dad used to have a Corolla, an A86. He has one that I actually remember. I was probably 8-ish at the time, I want to say. Okay. We used to live in BC, so we were driving up to the Okanagan, and they had a hill climb race called Knox Hill. And he'd take the Corolla there and do that all the time, and we'd go up and watch and stuff. And there was one time we drove up kind of parallels. So my mom drove this, he drove the Corolla, and me and my brothers would switch into the Corolla, and he'd drive with us and do some pulls and something stupid in it. And it was super cool. And the only thing I remember is I had to cut it short because I had to pee. So he pulled over on the side of the road. I had big headphones on, went pee in the ditch. I started driving this to school with him sitting in the passenger seat because I had my learners. And then he saw that I really liked driving it. So he kind of gave it to me or I started driving it more, and then I started driving it alone, and now it's kind of mine. And he had he originally had plans of doing injectors and a downpipe and maybe lowering it a little and making it kind of fun, because he got this car to stop him from getting tickets and stuff because it's really slow. I got the car, and I did what every high schooler does. I cut the exhaust off it, and then I ran open downpipe for a while, and then I started coughing because it smelled so bad in the cabin from all the fumes from a straight pipe diesel coming out. Yeah, and then we got a downpipe for it, and we connected it to the stock exhaust, and it sounded really cool. It was quiet but loud enough that it was kind of nice, and it had no cat, so the turbo was better or performing better, so it felt faster, if you want to call it that. Probably makes 90 horsepower now, we'll say. So it's still slow, but it was a little better. 2 days later, I cut the muffler off it and made it a full straight pipe to the back. I want to say I ran that for 2 months. And then I went to the junkyard and found a 3-inch exhaust, 3-inch full straight pipe exhaust. I took that off a 1.8T, connected it to the downpipe, and that's still what's on here. So that's cool. And then my friend had some 4-inch stack from a diesel just laying around his house. And I bought it from him, and now that's the rest of the exhaust. So I had people coming up to me in high school, and they're like, "Dude, how much did your turbo kit cost?" I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, "It must be so fast." I'm like, it came with the car. They're like, "It's a turbo car." It's not even quick. Right now it is slow, but it gets good mileage. So there's some silver lining to it, I guess. Fredericton, I feel, needs a bigger car scene. There's a lot of like super cars, because there's like the R8s here, and there's Jordan with his Mustang, and there's a bunch of like really nice proper cars, but we need more, I hate to say it, but we need more like riced out Civics and some really clapped cars and some like kind of tasteful ones. We just need to, it needs to grow more here. There's a lot bigger in Moncton. Like you have the lot where like during the summer it's packed every night pretty much. You have a lot more shows that are close to there. You have a lot more people that are close to there. We're there. Clueless is here. Oh, Clueless, yeah, there. We're there, and that's cool. 506 company's there, so they do like some small meets and stuff, so that's nice. I like we feel it's really like, there's like a good community, I want to say. Everyone kind of like gets along with anyone. There's not too much beef. I don't have time to go to too many meets, sadly, so I'm kind of getting like the big shows where either nothing happens or everything happens. Anytime I've had anyone, they're like, we should go meet up, and there'll be like 4 of us there. I'm like, yep, please. It's just something, it's something that it drives me, honestly. It's cars. Cars are cool. That's pretty much it. So it has, we'll start at the front end because it's kind of like the easiest to go. So it has a 4-motion front lip or front valence. It's paint matched, so it matches the car. It has GLI or Golf City or Jetta City or whatever headlights they are with the black casing around, which is kind of cool. Raceland front bags, airlift rear bags, airlift V2 management with 2.5 gallon tanks. That's the kind of like big suspension part. It has R32 spindles, control arms. It has a 25 millimeter R32 style front sway bar that I mounted. The end links I like kind of, I don't want to say fabricated because it was like a tiny bit of welding, but I fabricated mounts to the sleeves on the bags for them because nobody makes them like that. So I did that and I haven't had any issues with that. Everything is OEM on the car because I know people like doing rep stuff because it's a whole lot cheaper, but I found good deals luckily. So it has 20th anniversary GTI side skirts on it. It has a Thule roof box, which is a big part of it. So it's like the one cool thing that like I didn't do, but it's become like a staple of my car kind of. It adds like a weird kind of like silhouette to it that's like distinctively mine. So, plus my TikTok name is I don't use my roof box because I don't, even though it has stuff in it right now. We're gonna say that I don't use it right now. Okay, what else is done? It has Wolfsburg seats. It has a Wolfsburg steering wheel, Jetta City front like vent covers. Jetta City like rings around the speedo and the tack and stuff. It has I think it's a Wolfsburg e-brake like cover, like the leather one. It has Wolfsburg seats all around. It has Beetle headrests, which are really nice. I like how they look. It has I'm pretty sure it's not a GLI like mirror, but it's a black mirror. It usually has a Votex rep rear lip on it, but it's fiberglass and I don't want to run it in the winter because it'll break and it costs like $1,200 to ship from Germany. So if I regret anything on this car, it's that, because it was like $200 just for the lip, but shipping from Germany to here cost like $800 in total. It was atrociously expensive. It was awful. It arrived and it was cool, but like it was meant for a shorty rear bumper like the US ones, which are like a bit shorter. So I had to cut it and fiberglass and extend it, and it still fits kind of wonky, but it fits good enough that like I look at it and I'm like, it's there. That's pretty much it. It evens out the ride height of the car because right now it kind of like goes up at the back, and I don't love that, but I like how it looks in the summer. It's nice. If it wasn't mine, like my family's old car, I probably wouldn't have as emotional attachment to it. Like I say I want to keep this car forever, but I genuinely mean that. Like I really plan on like actually keeping it, because it's just like I think back of all the stupid shit that I've done in it, and how many scratches I've caused as like a kid, how many things I've broken, how many times there's been like throw up in the back seats and stuff. Probably going to my first show. Probably going to like Stancy's 2020. When they like barely got approval because of COVID. First car show I've been to, I got my license the day before, like my fulls the day before it. And I was so excited that I passed my test, drove up to the show, walked around for like an hour, and then met some people. And like, this is when I knew like nobody in the car scene. I like barely knew like Josh Gagnon from scootering. So I like saw him and he had the Miata at the time, and he was kind of like who I stuck with, so I knew somebody there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess he kind of helped me get into the car scene too, because he had a lot of Mark IVs.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, do an exhaust. I'm like, but like, it's nice and quiet. And he's like, yeah, but you could do it and it'd be cool. Like, I'm like, okay, sure, why not? I want to make it different. Cause like, right now it's pretty cookie cutter. It's on OEM wheels with bags, and it's like fender to lip height, which is like the thing everyone does with Mark IVs. But I really want to make it handle, like I still really want to race this kind of. So I want to do like a little bit to the motor, like probably like injectors and a tune, keep it like really mild so it doesn't blow up, and then do more handling stuff. So like I want to do like a rear sway bar. I want to do like poly bushings all around if I can, depending on the air system and how that works with that. Basically anything I can do to make this like really, really good and stiff and handle well. So I want to get like R seats and some other weird stuff that's like niche stuff. So people will look at it and they'll either know what it is or they won't. So yeah, that's kind of, I want to make it like unique, I guess, without being like really out there.